Okay, wait a minute. Did Jason Momoa really shave off his beard? Yeah. He did. Jason, Aquaman, Khal Drogo, the rugged Hollywood wild man, actually shaved off his beard. For real. And not just a trim. It's completely gone. Smooth face. Nothing left. And here's the thing. It wasn't just for a movie. It wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment decision either. It was way deeper than that. Ever had a moment where you felt like, you just needed a change? Like something about you didn't feel right anymore? Like you were still walking around wearing a version of yourself that just didn't fit? Yeah. Jason's beard moment? It was kinda like that. Except, well, he did it in front of the entire world. And in this video, we're gonna talk all about it. What made him do it? Why it meant so much? How people reacted. And what it really says about letting go, starting fresh, and being brave enough to change, even when people don't get it. So, here's what went down. Back in April 2019, Jason posted a video on YouTube. The title said it all, Goodbye Drogo. And right there, in the middle of what looked like a desert or some open space, he held up an electric razor, smiled at the camera, and started shaving. If you've been a Jason Momoa fan for even 5 minutes, then you probably know, his beard is kind of a big deal. And when I say big deal, I don't just mean in size. I mean iconic. That thick, wild, totally unbothered beard had become part of Jason's whole vibe. Whether he was swinging a trident as Aquaman, walking shirtless through the desert as Khal Drogo, or just chilling on a talk show, the beard was always there. It wasn't just hair. It was like his trademark. So when Jason suddenly shaved it off, yeah, people were stunned. Like, imagine Thor tossing away his hammer. Or Johnny Depp ditching the eyeliner forever. You'd do a double take, right? That's exactly how fans reacted when Jason pulled out an electric razor, turned on a camera, and just started buzzing it all off. One cheek. Then the other. Strip by strip. Until, by the end of it, that face we were all used to seeing through layers of beard, it was completely bare. Gone. Now here's the thing. It wasn't some random move. He wasn't just messing around. He wasn't like, hey, let's prank the internet today. Nah. This wasn't just about a beard. It was way bigger than that. While he was shaving, literally mid-buzz, Jason started talking. And what he said? It wasn't about looks. Or grooming. Or Hollywood roles. It was about something way more important to him, the environment. Yeah. That's what this was really about. See, Jason made the video because he wanted to start a conversation about plastic pollution. About how we, as a planet, are drowning in single-use plastics. You know the kind, plastic bottles, wrappers, bags. The stuff we use once and toss away without thinking. He pointed out how this stuff ends up in the ocean, clogs up ecosystems, hurts animals, messes with the environment, and ultimately, hurts us. It's everywhere. And it's not going away on its own. Then, still half-shaved, by the way, he holds up an aluminum can. And he says, basically, look. This is the better choice. Because aluminum? It's recyclable. Like, actually recyclable. Over and over again, without losing quality. Unlike plastic, which just gets worse and worse with each cycle, if it even gets recycled at all. So yeah. Jason didn't just shave his beard. He used that moment, one that he knew people would pay attention to say, we need to do better. Pretty smart, right? Now, of course the internet had thoughts. Big ones. Some fans were devastated. I mean, you would have thought we'd lost a historical monument. People were commenting like, this is the end of an era, or I don't know who he is anymore without the beard. Others were like, okay, I get the cause. But I still need time to emotionally process this. Some folks even said, I didn't realize I was this attached to another man's beard until today. But through all of that, Jason didn't waver. He looked totally calm. Confident. Focused. He wasn't second-guessing himself. He wasn't doing it for clout or drama or viral attention. He had a purpose. And honestly, that's what made it so powerful. Because let's zoom out a little. Even if you're not a celebrity, even if no one is watching your every move, we've all been there, haven't we? We've all had those moments where something in our life doesn't feel right anymore. It could be the way we dress. Or the friends we hang out with. The job we go to every day. The way we carry ourselves in front of others. Sometimes it's subtle, like a nagging feeling in the back of your mind. Other times it hits like a wave, you just know it's time to change. But here's the problem. Change? It's scary. Even when we want it, it can still be terrifying. Why? Because we get attached. To the version of ourselves that everyone knows. To the identity we've built, even if it doesn't fit anymore. To the way people react when they see us. It's comfortable. It feels safe. But sometimes, that comfort is just another kind of cage. And that's what makes what Jason did so relatable. That beard? It was more than hair. It was part of how the world saw him. It had become a kind of armor. A brand. A shield. But instead of clinging to it, he let it go. On camera. For everyone to see. Not for vanity. But for clarity. He was saying, I'm not just this image you've created. I'm more than that. I care about things. I want to make a difference. And that takes guts. Now, let's talk about what we can actually learn from this moment. Because believe it or not, there's a lot packed into this 5-minute video of a man shaving his face. First off, you don't need permission to change. Jason didn't ask the internet, hey, is it cool if I shave my beard? He didn't take a vote. He didn't ease into it with a goatee or stubble transition. He just did it. Because sometimes, when you know it's time to evolve, you don't need approval. You just need the courage to follow through. Second, your image isn't your identity. Yeah, the beard was iconic. It made him look strong, rugged, fierce. But Jason knew that who he is isn't tied to his beard. He's still that same guy. Funny. Thoughtful. Bold. The beard didn't make him cool, he made the beard cool. We forget that sometimes. We get so caught up in how others see us that we start believing that's who we are. But you? You're not just the clothes you wear, the job you do, or the role people expect you to play. You're bigger than that. And it's okay to outgrow things, even if they once felt like part of you. Third, use your moments wisely. Jason could have shaved privately, without saying a word. No one would have known until the next red carpet. But he knew people would be watching. And instead of wasting that moment, he turned it into something meaningful. That's smart. That's intentional. That's leadership. He grabbed people's attention, then redirected it to something that matters. Like, hey, since you're here, let's talk about the planet. And you know what? That message hit harder because it came from someone we didn't expect it from. A guy known more for swinging axes than speaking on sustainability. But that's the beauty of it. It showed that anyone, even a superhero-looking dude, can care about the world. Can stand up for something. Can lead by example. Now maybe you're sitting there thinking, okay, but I'm not Jason Momoa. Sure. But this still applies to you. Because maybe you've been holding on to something for too long, too. A hairstyle that's not you anymore. A relationship that drains you. A job that feels like a dead end. A version of yourself that just doesn't fit right anymore. But you haven't let go. Maybe because it feels safe. Or because you're scared of how people will react. Or because it's hard to imagine who you'd be without it. I get it. We've all been there. But here's what Jason's moment reminded us. You don't have to keep being who you were, just because people are used to it. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to do something bold and different, even if not everyone understands it right away. Sometimes, all it takes is a fresh start. A deep breath. A symbolic moment, like shaving a beard you've had for 6 years. So now let me ask you this. What's one change you've made, big or small, that shocked the people around you, but felt so right for you? Maybe you finally quit that job. Maybe you dyed your hair a bold color. Maybe you stopped apologizing for your opinions. Whatever it is, I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Share your story. You never know who it might inspire. And hey, if this whole Jason Momoa moment made you think, then you'll definitely want to check out our next video. It's all about Keanu Reeves, and why he's the most low-key rebel in Hollywood. He's another one doing things his own way. Quietly. Powerfully. Also, if this video hit home for you, go ahead and hit that like button. It seriously helps the channel grow. And if you want more stories like this, tap subscribe. We're just getting started. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And remember, sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is let go of who you used to be, and step into who you really are. Even if it starts with just a beard.